Hi, everyone. I'm John C. Morley, the host of the Jmor Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to the Jmor Tech Talk Show. Can you believe, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the last Friday of February. Where'd the whole month of February go? Where'd December go? Where'd the whole year go? 2022, that is, and now we're in 2023. We have a lot to share with you guys tonight, but what I want to say to you is thank you for making the choice to tune into the Jmor Tech Talk Show every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And maybe you watch us on the replay, which I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming back. We have a lot to share with you tonight. So let's get started because I think you're going to love what we have to share with you. First thing, all right. So Meta rolls out new language model amid the big text AI push. So what's this all about? So Meta has rolled out this new platform with a large language model that's based on artificial intelligence, and it's aimed at the research community. So this is interesting to see, what they're going to do. What are their plans for this? But I'd have to say that, whenever Meta does something, or we all know the name, it's Facebook. What are their real true plans? Like, what do they really want to, I guess, gain with what they're doing? And so Meta Platforms Inc. Released this new AI aimed research, we'll call it tool for the community. Chief executive Mark Zuckerberg said, and I quote, in a post that, Meta Platforms Inc. is releasing a new large language model based on artificial intelligence aimed at the research community. So there's a battle right now to be with what's going on with AI technology space. And there's a lot happening, as well as what happened last year with the launch of Microsoft's backed OpenAI ChatGPT. And a lot of people from Alphabet Inc., which is a division of Google, to China's Baidu Inc. to create their own offerings. Do they feel threatened? Maybe. Meta will make its model available to the AI research community, they added, and AI has emerged as a bright spot for investment. But do we really know what the future is for it? Last year, the social giant Meta let go 13% of its workforce, or more than 11,000 employees, as it wrestled with soaring costs and a weak advertising market. We've known that Facebook Meta has changed. Putting ads out there now is a lot different than the way it used to be. I don't see the same ROI. And the company is also considering more traditional cuts, including slashing some projects and some jobs. And they may truly have to focus on what's important to their bottom line. One of the things I think they should do is actually hire some people that actually work in the company and not outsourced, because then they'd actually care about the customers and what's going on. I don't know. This is a big situation that's happening, and there are lots of issues that are transpiring right now with Facebook. Paid ads, social media influencers having to mandatorily disclose sponsored ad posts as well as paid content. Huh. So now you'll be able to know whether it's something that they truly are um, promoting, or is it something that they just believe in? That's going to be interesting. And we know there's lots coming up the pike with Microsoft. They're always working on things like the MediSlim VR and virtual reality simulations. But the question is, where are they going? The global VR healthcare market is projected to reach 30.40 billion by 2026. Let me say that number again. 30.40 billion. That's pretty high. The Indian market size is expected to reach 1.2 billion. But is it going to stay, or is it something that's just going to be around so people can make some bucks and then people are going to just have the mad dash for the exit? I think it comes down to the fact that, are we designing technology to help people, or are we designing technology to rip people off? Now, that might sound like a harsh statement, but it's the truth, right? We all know a lot of these companies that put out operating systems, they rush to the market, not mentioning any specific name, but you know who I'm talking about, and they don't really make sure it's sound before it gets to the market. They just figure that it'll be taken in the wash. But I think that's a pretty bad approach, if you will. So as these different companies are starting to evolve and other things are transpiring, I think we're going to find out that a lot's going to change in how AI is creating posts. And are these posts going to really replicate human behavior? We've already seen just a couple weeks ago that one was actually kind of talking back to someone and making some comments that, let's say, were not appropriate. Meta's always looking for the next best thing. Unfortunately, I've yet to see consistency with Meta. In the last 5, 6 years, I've noticed that they've taken these changes or these turns, but no one seems to know what's going on. I mean, that's my take on it. And you might say to me, "Hey, John, you know, do they have a market?" And it's hard for me to tell you if they have a market, because we all know that AI is becoming popular, but we also know that it's being abused. Okay. And Meta's LLAMA, short for Large Language Model, Meta AI, okay, um, is available under non-commercial license to researchers and entities affiliated with government, civil society, and academia, as they had quoted in their blog. But the company will make available the underlying code for users to tweak the model and use it for research-related use cases. The model, which Meta said requires, quote unquote, far less computing power, is trained on 20 languages with a focus on those with Latin and Cyrillic alphabets. Quote, Meta's announcement appeared to be a step in testing their generative AI capabilities so they can implement them into their products in the future, close quote, said Gil Luria, a senior software analyst at DA Davidson. I think what they're doing right now is they're just trying to figure out what's going to stick. They're trying to do that for little to no money. And I don't fault them for that, but I just don't know if they're heading down the right path, or if they're just looking for something to make a quick buck. That's my big concern with where Meta's going with this AI system. All right, so here's something else about AI. Many of you have heard of going to court and things like that, but how about this, ladies and gentlemen? How about the fact that Colombia Court moves to Metaverse to host hearing? That is pretty cool. So, a Colombian court just recently hosted its first trial in the metaverse and now hopes to experiment again with virtual reality and authorities, as were told to routers. Close quote. The 2-hour hearing held by Colombia's Magdalena Administrative Court participants, a traffic dispute appeared as avatars in a virtual courtroom, and the magistrate, Maria Quintones, uh, Triana's avatar dressed in black legal robes. Hmm. The county is among the earliest worldwide to test real legal hearings in the metaverse. Hmm. So, why? And here's a quote: "It felt more real than a video call." Quiones told Reuters recently, describing the metaverse experiences as amazing on Zoom. She noted many people turn off their cameras and you have no idea what they're doing. So I think people want to be immersive, they want to be part of an experience. And so by using metaverse, and I'm sure they're not going to be the only ones that are going to offer something like this. There's going to be other providers, okay, that are going to do this. We create this illusion that technology is going to make things more efficient, but sometimes it's the opposite. Close quote. And that was a quote um, by Isabel Woodford in Mexico City. My question is, if we're going to do these things online, all right, is there going to be a standard that's up withheld or not? I don't know. People are looking for other ways to communicate. We've seen lots of legal proceedings move to video meetings hosted by Zoom, Google, and many others. And some have started experimenting with Metaverse. But this is the first real official legal scenario that has gotten some press. And Colombia's court proceeding on February 15th of 2023 was streamed to YouTube, and it went off without too much of a glitch. Of course, some issues with camera movement and some distorted movements, which is to be expected. I think the issue comes down to how easy is it to use this, and how does it work? Because you don't have a person literally on camera, you have an avatar. Continue. I think the big issue that we're going to have here is this going to do what we want? And if it is, great. If it's not, then I'd say there is a problem. A problem into what would be happening, why things would be happening a certain way. But the fact that a Colombia court moves to Metaverse, I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive. My question is, will other courts move to Metaverse? It's interesting. Virtual limits. Lawyers expect jurisdictional boundaries to still apply in a metaverse. But this is interesting because now we're holding somebody legally accountable on a virtual platform. It's another way people can interact. This could be the way that a lot of information is going back and forth. And the whole concept, ladies and gentlemen, of a metaverse is to create the real world online through avatars, buildings. There's some companies online right now that actually rent space online. You can have a virtual address. That's pretty cool. So if people do these things online, are people going to take them seriously? Strangely enough, they're starting to. See, this is the part that really has me, I'd say, a little bit flustered, because they're taking this stuff seriously. And with things like, the U.S. Justice Department, they might decide to jump on the bandwagon with this, but I'm not sure. We're going to have to kind of see what happens with that, and we'll let you know. But I just thought it was very interesting that the Colombian court decided to do this. All right. In other news, the U.S. Justice Department accuses Google of evidence destruction in an antitrust case. Ouch. Wow. I mean, first of all, did Google do this or not? And I would have to say, I would have thought that Google would have been above this. Okay. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've got their hands so far down the cookie jar that they've got to do something. The U.S. Justice Department accuses Google of evidence destruction in the antitrust case. Quote, the U.S. Justice Department lawyers say that Alphabet Inc.'s Google destroyed internal corporate communications and have asked a federal judge to sanction the company as part of the government's antitrust case over its search business. The Department of Justice, DOJ, asserted in a court filing unsealed in a Washington, D.C. federal court recently that Google failed to timely suspend a policy allowing the automatic permanent deletion of employees' chat logs. The government said Google falsely told the U.S. in 2019 that it had suspended auto deletion and was preserving chat communications as it was required to do. Close quote. I think what's going on right now is everyone is getting very specific. Why, though? The DOJ, along with 11 states, sued Google, as you remember, back in October 2020, alleging at the time that the internet titan has unlawfully monopolized the search market through a series of exclusionary agreements with other companies that have foreclosed competition for internet search, close quote. But I think anytime that we have an exclusive, it becomes a problem. A quote that the Feds say, quoting, it's likely the discussions of the very conduct being challenged in court took place non-email messages or memos, but in off-the-record chats that Google did not preserve, close quote. The government's motion asks Judge Amit Mehta to hold that Google violated evidence preservation rules, ordering a hearing to assess appropriate penalties, and to order Google to provide details about its practice of allowing employees to send chat messages with the history feature turned off. Google's obviously been pushing back on this. And here is Google's quote. We strongly refute the DOJ's claims. In a statement using refute to mean deny rather than disprove. Our teams have conscientiously worked for years to respond to inquiries and litigation. In fact, we produced over 4 million documents in this case alone and millions more to regulators around the world. They're a search engine. That's not really a lot of skin off their back. I mean, they do things digitally. So, of course, they should be able to produce documents, right? That's not anything unheard of. But when I heard the statement about them saying that they allegedly destroyed evidence, had me concerned. The default setting for these chats is history off. The lawyers claim, meaning messages are automatically deleted. Users must deliberately select the history on setting to preserve messages. Google agreed to suspend its auto deletion practices after a court order in 2019, but took no action, they say. Google repeatedly, quote, misrepresented its document preservation policies, which conveyed the false impression that the company was preserving all custodial chats, close quote, the memo had said. My question is Google the only one at fault? What about Yahoo? What about Bing? Right? What about Amazon? Are we picking on Google because they're the big kid on the block? Or because we actually have some belief that they did something wrong? Quote, Google warned employees not to discuss sensitive matters via email, but to use off-the-record chats instead. The company made a series of misleading statements, the DOJ lawyers allege, asking the court to consider sanctions for failure to make disclosures or to cooperate in discovery. Quote, Google's conduct meets the standard, Rule 37E, electronic spoliation because the company knowingly destroyed history off chat messages, directed sensitive conversations to chats with the knowledge that those messages would be not, I should say, not would be, but would not be discoverable, and misled the United States to conceal the company's chat destruction policy. This just seems like, more cat and mouse games. One day we're talking about Meta, one day we're talking about Google. I think they're all guilty. I think none of them are innocent. And you might say, John, this is nuts. You might say that. Is it because Google brings in so much money? Or did Google or these other companies really do something wrong? But we know what happened last year, right? The DOJ alleged, alleged Google unfairly kept internal documents away from antitrust investigators, claiming they are protected by attorney-client privilege. Google denied the allegation. The judge declined in April 2022 to sanction Google for conduct that occurred prior to the start of the litigation in 2020. So this is all part of an initial complaint. And my question is, if Google has nothing to hide, then why are they playing these games? I just want to know why they're playing the games. That's all I want to know. I don't know. We're going to have to see what goes on there, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely going to be interesting. In other news, Dish's Networks internal systems were so broken that employees haven't been able to work in over a day. The company is blaming system issue for the problems. Since just Thursday, Dish Network has been experiencing a major outage that's taken down the company's main websites, apps, and customer support systems. And employees, quote, as told to The Verge. But it's not clear what's going on inside the company. The company's Dish.com website is completely blank, save for a notice apologizing for any disruptions you may have, while promising the teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible. The Boost Mobile and Boost Infinite sites display a similar message. My question is, what's going on? What's going on? And I just went to the Dish Network website again right now, and this is exactly what I get. We apologize for any disruptions you may be having. We're experiencing an internal system issue, and our teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. I wonder what would happen if we call Dish. You have a phone number for Dish? Yeah, let's call them up. I don't think they're going to answer the phone.
We are experiencing an internal systems issue that is impacting our customer service. Your service should not be interrupted during this time. Our teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, that message is really useful. And I could see how that could infuriate a lot of people because Dish's system is down. So my question is, why did Dish's network go down? Why? Dish ended the year with 7.98 million wireless customers. The company also reported a Q4 churn rate of 4.57%, which is higher than its Q3 churn rate of 4.28%, but lower than Q4 2021, when the company reported a churn rate of 4.95%. Dish drops another 210,000 wireless subscribers in second quarter. When people asked, why is Dish losing so many channels? The answer was, and I quote, as is typical, the drop channels are the result of carriage disputes between Dish and Nexstar over fees. My question is, how can they get away with this? And it's interesting that the day that the website has the problems is the day that the earnings are supposed to be paid. I don't know. Something doesn't smell right here. I'm not sure I believe this because they say they're analyzing the root cause and any consequence of the outage while they work to restore the affected systems as quickly as possible, as quoted by Carlson, one of their employees. This is weird. And they also said that it had nothing to do with a cyber attack or a cybersecurity issue, but wasn't able to offer additional details beyond that. But other people were saying the computer issues were the least of Dish's problems. This week, the company revealed that it went below the 10 million paid subscriber mark for the first time in nearly 2 decades. It continued shedding customers at its satellite and streaming TV products. The number of customers paying for Dish satellite TV fell to 7.42 million for the 3-month period ending December 31st, 2022, down from 7.61 million customers reported during the previous quarter. Sling TV subscribers fell to 2.33 million, down from 2.41 million over the same time period. But the company's stock jumped on the news. The Dish added 8 million customers to its fledgling wireless phone and data startup. Revenue was reported at 4.04 billion, helping its earnings per share climb to $1.49 for the quarter, about 99 cents higher than what Wall Street analysts had expected. My question is this something that happened because of a glitch, or is Dish going out of business? I'm not entirely sure. But I'm concerned. Luckily, I'm not a Dish subscriber. But why? We've already talked about something very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I want to bring this up to you. So I did this a while back, and I know several communities, whether it's in Florida, Jersey, New York, wherever it is, more people are getting smart about cutting the cable. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, so for a long time, people thought the only way they could get TV channels is by TV using their cable or the air, right? However, you can actually get TV channels with something as simple as a Roku device. And there's other boxes as well. So I think what we're going to start seeing now is a lot of these stations are going to be broadcasting, okay, to the internet, and then they're going to be streamed to people's TVs. I don't know. I think it's going to be a problem, but they're not telling us a lot. Why? I just feel that this outage was not an accident. The Dish outage was not an accident. And you might say, John, why do I say that? I mean, for the whole call center to go down, I mean, they have no backup. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. One person I want to quote is a sales agent, and this is what he says, quote, I work as a sales agent at Dish, and today, upon entering the site, was told not to log on to my computer and that everything had been down since the early AM hours. I soon realized it wasn't the phones that were down, but everything, including our website and intranet. As of now, our entire system is still down, and I can only imagine that this was a cyber attack. It can't be a coincidence. It comes days after our fourth quarter earning report, as well as the launch of our 5G. Some bad juju coming our way. Another person posted, I want to share this quote. Longtime customer moving and want to upgrade equipment. We have been a Dish customer for 15 plus years. We have an ancient VIP 722K receiver. We're now moving and want to upgrade to the Hopper. What is our best option? Call Dish and buy over the phone, use their website, contact a local dealer, but there's no way to reach them. And you might be saying to me, John, this sounds a little strange. And the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, it's not strange. It's something that I believe was planned. I'm going to say right now the Dish outage was planned. Now, they claim that customer services were not interrupted. But they have a lot of problems on their plate. They launched a satellite designed to transmit HDTV channels. It fell short of its orbit on Friday, and it looked like several other things are starting to happen too. The number 2 satellite company, formerly known as EchoStar, plummeted 36% since early November, closing Wednesday at $28.05. Investors are wondering whether Dish Network can soar in a slowing economy as it grapples with delays in the rollout of HDTV channels and the loss of patent infringement cases from TiVo. I see the writing on the wall, but I don't have confidence that they're going to hang around forever. Another interesting quote from the federal court found, quote, that the Dish Network DVRs use patented technologies that enable users to watch one program while copying another. This week, Dish asked an appeal court to rehear the case, alleging that an expert witness for TiVo had contradicted himself. TiVo said in a statement that this was, quote, expected, and we remain confident we will prevail in this appeal, close quote, entire quote. I will tell you what I know. They have some licensing challenges. And all I know, ladies and gentlemen, is that's going to be a little expensive. My question when people ask me, when will Dish's website be back up? I don't know. I knew somebody that was applying for a job at this company a while back. And they put him through so many hurdles. Went in the morning at about 10 o'clock for an interview. And literally spoke to like 6 or 7 people. By the time they got to the 7th person, they kept just pushing this. This took several hours. By the time that they got to that 6th person, they had more people to talk to, but they decided that he wasn't a match. Now, he was a great match, but the thing about Dish is that they're very picky about who they hire. From what I've been seeing, they've only been hiring people that pretty much just want to read and not ask questions. Now, you might say to me, John, why does that matter? They don't want people that are independent thinkers. Now, this doesn't come from any of their executives or anything like that. This comes from just me talking to a few of my friends that attempted to work at Dish, and I had one that actually did work at Dish. He worked there for a couple weeks, and he was constantly being pressured to get more sales. And what he told me was, John, they're not really interested in the quality of service we provide, just the number of connections and boxes we can place. That's interesting. And so the only thing you can get right now is you can get some of the cached pages, but that's it. I'm going to tell you that something else is going to transpire with this Dish, and I just want to know, why did Dish get shut down? And I think what we're going to find out is that this was intentional. In October, Dish pulled Disney-owned channels from its satellite service and Sling TV after companies failed to reach a deal. I think this is really about a bigger picture that they're not sharing with us yet. On January 7th, Fox News had provided information that Dish Network had lots of contract disputes. Hmm. And I'll tell you that it was Fox Providence that had been removed from Dish Network per the contract dispute between station distributors, Mission Broadcasting, and satellite TV providers. My question is, are we going to get the truth from Dish? You know, when will the truth come out about Dish.com? And I think what we're going to find out is that this is an issue. And again, all I get on the website is, we apologize for any disruptions you may be having. We're experiencing an internal system issue, and our teams are working hard to restore systems as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. This is a very coy way of not wanting to answer questions. It is. And so people got annoyed with Dish on December 1st, 2022. Some Nexstar controlled stations go dark on Dish Network.